Well, hello, beautiful world. My name is Deborah. My company is Solve Speech, and I'm just really happy to be here today. I'm hoping that some of the people that I've texted will pop in soon. Oh, hello, person. Really happy you're here. There should be a place where you can comment and I can receive the comment and question that you may have. I would be happy to answer any questions that come my way. Um, but if this is your first time seeing me, my name is Deborah. I am an English as a second language teacher, YouTuber, and blogger. I'm also a certified and licensed speech language pathologist. And I work in hi, Candy, and I work in a nursing home in Virginia. I guess first I'll just kind of talk a little bit about what's going on with this virus. So just in the average day-to-day life, what I'm noticing is different from my life before the virus to my life after the virus is that, first of all, there's a lot of news about it. I can't watch the television without hearing something going on about the coronavirus. Um, there have been some small changes that I've had to make personally in my life because we want to prevent the spread of the virus. As many of you know, it's been declared a national emergency. And so I guess one major change is that personally, because of where I work in a nursing home, I have restrictions on where I can travel. And if I go into work and answer certain questions that say, if I answer yes to a question that says, have you traveled in an area where there has been the coronavirus, then I have to not show up to work for, I believe it's 14 days. But everything seems to be changing from one day to another, from one day to the next. So I might go in tomorrow and all the bans are lifted, and I might go in tomorrow and who knows, maybe there's been an outbreak. But the other difference in my day-to-day life is that well, I mean, you should be washing your hands anyway, right? So I do use a lot more hand sanitizer now than I did before. And I do look and keep a distance from the people around me, whereas before I might have shaken someone's hand and I might have given them a hug. And listen carefully to my verb tense: might have given, might and have plus the past participle of the verb. Before, I might have given someone a hug, a friend, not a stranger, unless they're really good looking. No, I'm just kidding. Just when I see my friends, before the virus, I might have given them a hug or shaken their hand. But now I'm hesitant to hug anyone or to come within 5 feet. They say 6 feet as a social distance recommendation, but then when I say they, I mean the CDC. The CDC is right. The CDC is the Center for Disease Control, and so these stipulations aren't just coming out of nowhere. They're coming from the Center for Disease Control to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. My friend just messaged me and said, yes, the best thing to do is the elbow bump. You could do a fist bump instead, but that's still hands touching hands. But what she said is to bump your elbow against someone else's elbow. I'm not going to demonstrate it on myself because I think that would look really ridiculous. So anyway, just that was just kind of something to get me started with that. And you may have learned a little bit of grammar and vocabulary through that blurb. I have a couple of specific things I'm going to talk about. I have friends whose native language is not English, and in conversations with them, I tend to pick up on the errors that they say. And when I'm having a conversation with someone, unless they specifically ask me, can you help me with my English? Can you help correct my English if it is incorrect? If I said unless, but let me go back. If someone specifically asks me to help them with their English, I will offer to correct their English during a conversation. If they don't ask me, I typically don't correct someone during a conversation because there's two things happening. The first one is the person talking wants to express a thought. And a lot of times, a very clear thought can be expressed even if the grammar is not completely accurate. And so a lot of times I'll tell people, the message that you're trying to tell me is more important than the accuracy of the grammar in a conversation. Definitely not in academic writing. That is a whole different world of grammatical accuracy. But in a conversation, you want to practice your English fluency. And so if I interrupted you as you were speaking, that interrupts your ideas. That interrupts your thought. What we call a train of thought, the continuous ongoing movement of a thought. So from beginning to end, you might want to finish your thought without someone correcting your grammar. But if someone asks me to correct their grammar during a conversation, I certainly will. These errors, I guess you could say, were something that I heard my friends say in running speech, in spontaneous conversational speech. And but I picked up on something that just sounded a little off with a couple of phrases. The first one is the expression, thank you anyway. You could say thank you anyway or thanks anyway. Grammatically and socially, that's an appropriate thing to say. In the context that I heard this, I was offering my friend some help. And I said, okay, you're having some trouble. You can stay with me for a few days. And my friend said, thank you, Deborah. I really appreciate it. I will think about it. Thank you anyway. What's wrong in that phrase? The grammar isn't wrong, and the social aspect of it isn't wrong. But what was wrong was when you say thank you anyway, that is saying, it's essentially saying no. It's a very polite way of saying no. It doesn't sound like the word no at all. But okay, let me give you an example. Would you like some coffee? Thanks anyway. That's basically me saying, no, I don't want coffee, but thank you anyway. You can just shorten it and just say, thanks anyway. You can stay at my house for a few days. Thanks anyway. Meaning, I already have a place to stay. Thanks anyway. So if you say thanks anyway, the anyway negates the option of it. So, So when you say thanks anyway, that essentially means no, but in a very polite way. And you could say the whole sentence. I have a place to say, but thanks anyway. I'm not very thirsty right now, but thanks anyway. Or thank you anyway. Since her option is still open, she can stay here for a few days or not. She has not decided yet. Her response, instead of saying thank you anyway, could have been, thank you, I'll think about it and let you know. If I were offering someone coffee and they, instead of saying thank you anyway, maybe they haven't decided yet. Would you like some coffee? Not right now, maybe later would be a good response to that. Or I'm not thirsty right now. I'm not thirsty right now would be another way of saying no. Okay, so that was one. The second sentence that I heard someone say in an Uber, I have to explain that it was an Uber and that this person, I don't know this person and or his wife. He was an Uber driver. And so there I was in the Uber. I was in the car and we were driving along. My friend was with me, but my friend didn't say anything at the time. But the Uber driver said, oh, his phone rang. And he said, give me a break. Well, he said, shh, give me a break. It's my wife. His first language isn't English, but his English, he has a pretty good command of English. But it's these. That's my cat. Her name is Grace. She may visit from time to time and help me with my English lessons because she wants attention all the time. 85% of the time. Okay, so he said, shh, give me a break. It's my wife. And what I think he meant was, and I'm pretty sure what he meant was, Candy says hi, Grace. What I think he meant was, please keep it down. I'm talking to my wife on the phone. Please lower your voices. My wife is on the phone. Now, he is an Uber driver, and here we are, two women in his car with a married man, and I'm thinking that he didn't want his wife to know he was driving women around in his car. Instead of saying, give me a break, it's my wife, he should have said, keep it down for a minute, it's my wife. Or could you keep your voices down for a minute, please? It's my wife. When you say, give me a break, it's my wife, that is not grammatically incorrect. It was situationally incorrect. When you say, give me a break, it's my wife, what you're actually doing is defending your relationship. So that's kind of a nice thing to say if the situation calls for it. So for example, let's say, or what was it you wanted to say? Are you done? Okay, she said she's done. I don't believe her. Let's say two men are deciding to go out for the evening and they're buddies. And one buddy says to the other one, hey, let's go to the bar. And the other buddy, who's married, says, oh, I can't go out tonight. It's date night. And then the first buddy, the one who invited his friend to the bar, said, you're going to go on a date where you're married to the woman. And then the buddy says, give me a break. It's my wife. Meaning that he would, the second friend would choose to be with his wife over his friend this one particular day because it is special to his wife. So he's saying, give me a break. It's my wife. Like, don't hassle me. It's my wife. You know, I have to consider my relationship to my wife above my relationship to my friend this time. And of course, in marriages and relationships, there's always compromise. But that is one example, situational example of how give me a break, it's my wife is appropriate. Okay, I have two more. I take it back. I have a couple more. Two and a couple mean the same thing, by the way. So that's why I giggled. I have go through it versus go through with it. Through is a preposition that means, let's say there is a hoop and you have to go through the hoop, okay? Or there's a tunnel and the train goes through the tunnel. So that's a very physical, tangible use of the preposition through that you can visualize, you can picture it. But then we have through in a more figurative sense. So when you're going through something, let's say there's a situation, a divorce, why not? Since we're on the topic of relationships. Why do all my topics end up going around relationships? Anyway, let's say there's a divorce. That's the situation. And there is a person going through a divorce. So you can imagine the situation and the person is going through it. There is a beginning of the divorce and there is an end. Yeah, when the papers are signed, that is the end of it. Of course, so the whole like 6 months to a year, at least in the state of Virginia, that you have to is a long period of time. And so you actually have to, there's a beginning and an end. So you are technically going through this period of time. Not technically, figuratively. Isn't it funny? We just kind of blurt out words without thinking exactly how they're used. And I do it too. I don't always analyze everything, every little single detail of everything I say when I'm having a conversation with friends or coworkers. Sometimes I just blurt it out and hope that it's accurate most of the time. And if it's not, and I notice, I'll correct myself. And if it's not and I don't notice, then hey, we're human and we all make mistakes. Okay, so there's going through something. So let's say there's the divorce. Going through the death of a loved one. Okay, there's a beginning to it, and there's not really an end to the grief. It does get better, but so there's this period of time where someone passes away, someone dies, and then you have to go through the emotions of healing from that. So you can go through a lot of things, going through something. Okay, compared to the expression going through with something. Going through with it. Going through with it means there is, for example, a situation, and it might be a difficult situation or a significant life-altering situation. And it's a decision, and you have a choice. You can do it or not do it. And if you make this big decision, you have decided to go through with it. I've decided to go through with it. To go through with what? The surgery. It was an optional surgery, a nose job. I don't know. I didn't have a nose job, but I'm thinking somebody who is making a decision about changing their looks with cosmetic surgery, that would be a big decision. Are you going to go through with it? Breaking up with someone. So you're weighing your pros and cons. Oh, I like this person a lot for these reasons, but then there's this disagreement we always have over and over again. So are you going to go through with it? Are you going to go through with the breakup? Marriage. Someone asks you to marry them and you say yes, and you have that ring on your finger and you're waiting patiently and planning for the big day, the wedding day. And then the night before the wedding, your maid of honor or your best man comes up to you and says, hey, are you going to go through with it? Meaning, are you going to stand at the altar tomorrow and get married? So these are big decisions that you can make. And if you have made the decision and committed to that decision, that means you are going through with it. Getting a tattoo might be another one. I don't know. I'm just thinking of examples of things that you can go through. If you have any ideas, please go ahead and comment those as well. Or questions. I'm willing to take any questions. Okay. The last topic I wanted to bring up today in our live stream lesson is work at versus work from. Work at versus work from. Okay. When we're talking about time, if you say, I work at 7, or you could say, I work starting at 7, but I work at 7. When is your shift? I work at 7. If you're talking about a span of time from beginning to end, you would say, I work from 7 to 3. So at is one specific time and from is a span of time. So you're actually saying 2 times. I work from 8 to 5. I work from 3 to 6. I work at 3. Another expression with work at and work from is location. I work at a skilled nursing facility. I work at the hospital. I work at the cafe. I work at Walmart. I don't know why I laughed so hard at that. Walmart. I work at the library. So that's your location. But if you say I work from, typically you could say I work from home. If you don't actually leave your house to go to a location to work, maybe you just work through your computer like a lot of English as a second language teachers do. They work from home. I work at a skilled nursing facility and I work from home. Those are my lessons for today. It was kind of random. I think what I'm going to start doing is selecting specific grammar and vocabulary topics and doing a 20 to 30 minute session on those. And I'll start to announce the level of lesson that I'm offering, whether it's beginning, intermediate, or advanced. And if I have a beginner's lesson, I'm going to end up talking a lot slower, and it might help with some of your listening skills. I tend to, in the past, I've been speaking very quickly on these videos, and I think what I'll do is just start putting in the title the level of session that I'm providing, so you will know if I'm going to speak faster or slower. And as always, please feel free to comment either in the chat if I am speaking too fast, or if you would like me to repeat something. I'm happy to do that. I'm going to keep babbling for a minute or two, waiting for you to ask me any questions if you have any. While I'm babbling, I would like for you to consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and inviting your friends to subscribe. I'm going to do the classes a lot more often in the near future. Uh, the schedule has not been set yet, but that is in the works. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @solvespeech, all one word. You can visit my website. It is underdeveloped right now, and I'm working on that as well. It is solvespeech.com. If you want to contact me for one-on-one, very specific lessons or tutoring, you may do so. You can message me. You can comment on YouTube. You can reach out to me on my website, solvespeech.com. And you can reach out to me via tweet or direct messaging me through Twitter. And I will respond and be happy to discuss any tutoring packages and prices and how that might work out for our schedules. Are there any questions? As for the YouTube video, please, if you have gained any knowledge or insight from these videos, please click like, and if you have any more questions, add them in the comments below, because they always generate more questions and helpful advice for people just like you looking to expand their English skills. And subscribe, and keep in touch, and keep a lookout for future free English lessons. Can you go the pronunciation of V and W? I will. So I have someone asking me to discuss the difference between the V pronunciation and the W pronunciation. Can you think of two words that almost sound the same with V and W? And if so, can you type them in, and I'll try to brainstorm some as well. Vate is not really a word, but vate and weight. I'll talk about the lip placement. I think the V and W gets complicated for a lot of people from a certain language background. I've seen a lot of people get the V and W and the F and B mixed up from people who are from India specifically. Actually, saying India isn't specific at all. It's kind of like a big landmass. But so when you're pronouncing the V, your top teeth actually touch your bottom lip. And there's like a little vibration you can feel on your bottom lip when you say it. And you can kind of feel the vibration of this of the air coming through that small space, like that. That's a V. It almost tickles. Actually, it doesn't almost tickle, it very much actually tickles. And the W has no closure of the lips and the teeth. It's wah. It's like going from a oo to a sound. Wah. That's the difference. And what I will do for you, my dear, who has asked me that question, I'm going to do a specific lesson on V and W. Wayne and yes, okay, Wayne, like the name Wayne, Bruce Wayne, Batman, right? And vein, as in the arteries through which your blood flows in your body. Vein has the V sound, and Wayne has no connection between your lips and teeth at all. Wayne, vein. There's someone's name is Vaughn, and the number 1, O-N-E, and V-O-N. The name Vaughn with a V, Vaughn. You can see how my lips and teeth are touching. And the number one, one. There is no connection there. Pronunciation lessons would be so much easier if we were doing them one-on-one. But like I said, I'll do a very specific new lesson, new live stream lesson, and I'll address that at that time. But I hope so far that what I've told you is a little helpful just in terms of what's touching and what's going on there. Okay, my dear friends and English learners and followers, I'm going to end this live stream now. And, well, there's more where this came from. So, like I said, keep in touch, like, subscribe, follow, and friend. Talk to you later. Bye.